Convo. Welcome back to Candid Conversations with Carmen. I'm your host, Carmen, and this is my side host,
Ashley.
and our wonderful producer,
T Nugget.
And on today's episode, we're going to take it back to basics. So I think we're going to kind of just keep it light, fun, similar to how we kind of did in season 1 when we did not have video. We've definitely come a long way. But
it's getting better.
Yes, but
it's a work project.
I know this season we've been like, what are we doing on growth and what are we like trying to accomplish? And I think it's kind of getting a little stale. To me, you might have loved it and been thriving on it, but
I think it was just really where I was.
That's true. That's true. Where we both were. Yeah, and Troy as well. Mm-hmm. So I don't disagree with that. But I wanted to keep it light today. And so, well, not necessarily light, but I want to just ask a question came to my mind. Mm-hmm. So it's turning on you. And I think we've talked about this before. We had conversation about this before. But I want to kind of get a pulse because where you are presently in life. And you have a lot of things going on. Mm-hmm. You're getting your doctorate. You're mm-hmm. getting your, you're always going somewhere. You're learning French. You're about to go to Africa, to Paris, to all these different places. Mm-hmm. So you have a lot on your plate. Yeah. And I wanted to ask you, unrelated to that, with you being at the stage of life that you're in, do you feel like, I know that you're pretty good about keeping your mindset on like where you presently are and where you want to be like personally, but I wanted to know, like, realistically, do you feel like there are, because a lot of your friend group, a lot of people that are around you are starting to have weddings, get married, all those kinds of things. Do you feel like there are societal pressures, external pressures that you see kind of at play for you specifically? Or do you really think that you're at this point just kind of like, everyone's like, live your own life, do what you want to do?
I think in my friend group, we talk about relationships and stuff all the time. We talk about where you want to be and what you want to do. A lot of my friends that are married are like, do what you want to do ahead of time before you have children and a family, all that kind of stuff. Not because that's not a wonderful time and a wonderful experience, but it shifts from being about you a lot of times and moves on to your family and what their needs are and what they're doing. And so for me right now, I don't really feel any societal pressures. If anything, I would have to put them on myself. Yeah. There are some things that I do desire, but I can't make them happen, and I can't force them. Separate. And no, but what I'm saying is that would be the pressure that would be put on me, because my friends, they just ask me like, what's going on in your life? How's everything going? And I just, I'm truthful about where I am, but I think, sometimes you start looking around now. I have to be honest and just be like, what is going on? Is there something with me?
How much more self-work do you have to do?
Like, really, like, what am I working on? What is it that God has for me? What is it that he wants from me to be able to move into, like, if I want to be in a relationship right now, what does that look like? How, people are always like, put yourself out there. Well, there are certain places I just don't want to put myself out to be able to find somebody. And they're like, don't limit your spaces and limit God. I don't believe I'm limiting God, but I really feel like in some spaces you attract what you get.
I get what you're saying. Certain environments.
Yes. Yeah. But I'm open to going to different places and meeting new people. And for me, I'm also at a place of like wanting to build new friendships, like finding people to like grow with. Like, I have my friends and I'm growing with them, but I also want people that are at different other stages in their lives. Yeah. Because I do have a wide range of friendships where that are older, people that have been married, people who have been divorced, who had spouses that died, that had careers and all that kind of stuff, and are retired and all that kind of stuff. But a lot of them were like where I see myself going. I feel like I need different friends.
Okay.
Or not even, I don't want to say different friends. I want to say
like serve in a different capacity.
That serve in a different capacity. And like, because my friends push me, like majority of my friends push me to do and to be better. And they're always asking like, Ashley, they hold me accountable. If I tell them something, they're holding me accountable to that. So I can't say that. But I have seen other of my friends excel in different ways because they've had mentors and they've had people that have shown them different things. And I think that for me, and that's one of the things that I'm praying about with the Lord, asking the Lord, is that he will send the right people to guide me into the next areas of my life that may be able to show me something that may be different, that not that I necessarily need to work on, but just to build up.
Yeah.
And so, no, I don't think there's any really societal pressures coming from anybody to do anything like buy a house, do all those different things.
Yeah.
Because people understand my platform and why I do the things that I'm doing. It's not because I'm just trying to, I don't have any money and I'm just trying to, it's really about listening to the Lord and what he's telling me to do and moving on that. And so my life might not look like anybody else's, and it might not be the experience that everybody else is. And then I have to tell myself that as well, is that where I am and what I'm doing is the place that God has me. And I need to keep my eyes stayed on that, not have any type of comparison, not have any like, wow, how did this happen? And how, because you can get caught up in that and be like, how, they're getting married. How did this happen? I know, because a lot of times when you're around people, you know things about their lives.
Right.
And you know all these different things. And you're like, God, if I'm doing, but the thing is, just because you are doing the things that God has called you to do and the things that does not mean that he owes you anything.
Yeah, that's so true.
And so because I'm doing these things, it should all to be for his glory. And that's it.
Yeah. Not the reward you think you're going to get here.
Reward. Yes.
On earth.
It's not about that. And so that's where I have to be. So in all those different things, no, there's nobody pressuring. Mom and daddy aren't being like, you need to go out and you need to get married because you need to have children. That's not, they're not pushing me.
Yeah.
They might be like, I'm praying for you, you know, I'm interceding for you, but it's not like tomorrow. It's not like tomorrow I need you to just go out and just throw yourself at somebody so that we can start moving into the next section of our lives. No, it's not that. But I think they're not also saying, but they're saying, we want you to achieve all the things that you want to achieve. Yeah. And so because of that, I believe that right now, like I've been saying about this entire season, that it's a process. Yeah. And I think that I'm at a stage where it's like a press process, like the pressing part. Like if you press through this part, the other side of that is going to be something greater than what is right here. But I have to push through that first. Yeah. And so it may not look great. It may look like it's declining. It may look like it's like not it's just downhill. Things are just like, wow, this is not that great. But I think that if you push through those times, the times when it's not great, the times when it doesn't look like anything is happening, where it seems like you're still doing the same thing over and over again, sometimes it is the repetitiveness of doing something over and over again to get to where you want to be. And when that time comes, it'll be great when all those, if they come, but I can't live my life for the ifs. I have to live my life for what is. And so what I'm really learning about purpose and all that is, my purpose is to be who God has called me to be, to serve him. And then from there, all those things will be added. So seeking him first, and then everything else will be added. So no, there's no pressures or anything like that for me. But I mean, it's the same. Like I'm doing all these different things, and I'm going all these different places, and I'm doing but God has me doing those for a reason. And I don't think it's just me doing things. Yeah. I think they align with what God has for me. Yeah. So flip that back around onto you.
To T Nugget.
No.
Oh, to me. No.
Oh no.
Do I feel no. Societal pressure? No. No, I don't feel like that at all. But I never feel like I would have. And I just think that's in large part to one, who you are around. Yeah. And then also understanding that, like you said, if you are contented with where you are or what your life is presently, then you may not have that a lot of pressure, even though societally it can be there, sometimes it's your own internal pressure as well. So you kind of circle it back onto yourself. So, oh my gosh, my life doesn't look like this. This is where everybody else is at. This is how everybody else's life is. I already know. Like, I see people who have families, and I'm like, that's a lot of work. And that's a lot of selflessness. Like, to really do it well.
Yeah.
Like, you can be a parent and subpar at it. And a spouse and be subpar at it. But if you really want to be successful in either of those things, you have to put some effort in.
Yeah.
And so in your regular life, when you're by yourself, you can put effort in, and it's good to have effort into what you want to do, but it's still motivated by what you want out of it. So there's a degree of selfishness that you get to maintain. And so from that perspective, I'm always like, I love my life. I love my life. So no, I don't feel any societal pressure from that aspect. I will say, to your point though, I do think that, and I think we talked about it, growing your community as a whole. I think that is still something that I am like, okay, how to better do that? Because there are areas where I'm like, okay, I do have, more of a community in this area, or more support in this particular area, or I know people in this way will support me and kind of be that build up for me in these different areas. But I do see that there's room for growth and expansion. Be that putting yourself out there more. I'm not really a put yourself out there more type of person innately, but I have been mixing it up a little bit.
You have.
I've mixed it up a tinge. So just continuing on that. It may be baby steps, but it's still something.
Yeah.
So because you can say you want something, but if you aren't willing to back it up with your actions, then
you're going to be in the same
you'll
place.
be where you really were all along. So I think that's something that I've had to be cognizant of. Yes, Troy. Oh my god.
So what I'm hearing is you're open to love.
Yes.
I never did say that I wasn't. Why you not like? Are you showing yourself on the camera?
No.
So nobody can see you. No, I never said that I wasn't. I literally said, if that's what God has for me, then that's where I'm going to be at. Because really, if you really believe that God wants you to have your life and have it more abundantly.
Yes.
If that's real, I really believe, then I can say, because there are certain areas of my life where I'm like, I don't like how this is going.
Yes.
Or I don't like how this is set up. But if I think in the back of my mind that all of this is for me to be better.
Yeah.
That God is working through this for me to be better, for me to have my life and have it more abundantly. So the best version of my life that I can have, and I have that scope or that lens on everything, then it's like, if he wants me to have that life, why would I say no and then have a lesser version of the life I could have had? Because of the way that I see it. And I think that is not necessarily always easy to walk out, but I think that is a good way to be.
Yes.
So yes, my stance has remained the same. What about you?
What do you mean? What about me?
What was what the question was we were talking about?
Can you restate the question?
No, societal pressures. Because I know a lot of people, like, even though you're younger, a lot of people in the groups that you kind of frequent, yeah, they push for young marriages, young relationship,
young home ownership, car ownership. I mean, you own 2 cars right now.
I'm trying to sell that joke. What? Continue.
You have stuff, but like the relational parts of it, the things that people are like building, just mega books, hanging, all the stuff. That's all.
That would be nice.
No, but I'm just saying. Do you feel pressure and push is like to find your career, to find your purpose, to find your wife?
No.
Okay.
No, like literally, like last week, I had to go to the but the car place. I had to take the car to get some stuff done on it. And the guy was like asking me questions like, oh, that kind of thing. Like, are you trying to like do things on your own, move out on your own, all this kind of stuff? And I was like, not really. And then I had to actually that clicked something in my mind. I was like, people expect you to want the same things that they think that you're supposed to have as a societal thing. But like, if that's not something that you want, that doesn't mean that you're wrong.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I'm good where I'm at, because I know that I don't know where I'm really going, but I'm gonna trust God and be like, wherever I'm at and end up at, I'm gonna be good. But I don't feel like any pressure to like jump into anything, or like, oh, I just need to get this position that'll propel me to go heights above what I could ever ask or think, or all this kind of thing. I'm just not just.
Yeah, but you do have to. You are working towards things, and you're preparing.
Yeah, I'm
for things,
doing stuff, but it's not like I feel like I have to.
Yeah.
Be what the societal thing is, because I'm young. Like, everybody thinks you're young. Next step, you gotta get married. Next step is kids. Or sometimes people be like, just so you're a wild oats and you're young. And then when you get to around 28, 29, 30, now you need to start looking into settling down and doing different things.
Yeah.
But that life doesn't look the same for anybody.
Yeah.
Just like that man that y'all were reading the article about, talking about a millionaire is a failure and all of these different things. When people have different viewpoints, what's the standard?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And I think also it's what you want out of life as well. I would hate to find that money defines whether or not
you're happy.
I'm happy, or that I feel empowered. Like, I would never want to feel like I'm a disappointment to somebody just because of the amount of money that I make. And I think that's the great thing about having real friends and having real family. Money does not or should not be the main factor of why somebody loves you, cares about you, or wants to be with you. If it is, then that's a problem.
Or, I mean, and even to a different degree, it should never be the thing that defines your value.
Yes.
So even because again, you can be wealthy and those that are around you may be reaping the benefits of that.
I'm not saying that they're not reaping the benefits.
No,
I would hope they would be.
No, but what I'm saying is that the issue isn't necessarily that those around you only want to be with you because you're rich.
Yeah.
You are choosing who you surround yourself with.
Yes.
You are the one who's saying your family will be disappointed in you if you made $400,000 a year. Like, you know how the article read. So from that perspective, I think it's a matter of what do you define as valuable and derive value within yourself.
But see, the thing is, even in that article, it wasn't about the other people outside of him.
Yeah.
It was just his feelings about himself.
Correct.
And so that's what I'm saying. That money shouldn't be the defining factor for yourself for it. And if that was something that you might need to reevaluate those relationships.
Yeah.
But I do believe that striving for more and striving for better is not a bad thing. But then you have to really think what is striving for more and what is better. Mm-hmm. Because truly and honestly, the more I have been reading the Bible and studying, especially because we're doing that Bible study on Philippians, and where it talks about when Paul is talking about how he would rather be with Christ than to be here on earth, because he knows it's so much better there. The treasures that he has stored up in heaven are so much more. But he knows that God has him here on earth, or had him here on earth, for the benefit of the people that he was serving. I would like to get to that place, to where I'm like, God, being in heaven with you would be the greatest thing for me, the best thing, the most important thing. But I know that you have me here on earth right now to serve your people, and serve in whatever capacity you have me serving. I'm not there yet. I honestly cannot say that I'm just like, oh, I just want to be in heaven right now. And I think that's a different plane of being with the Lord, to be like, that's where I want to be. I can honestly say I am not there.
You're like, there's some things I want to do in my life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I get what you're saying.
There are some things that I want to accomplish. There's some things that I want to see. There's some things that I want to do. And he's like, all of that to live is like nothing, but to die is gain. Like, who can, that's crazy. But in it, I see the beauty in it. Mm-hmm. And I see the love for God, the complete and total love for God that he has. And I'm not saying I don't have a complete and total love for God, mm-hmm. but I'm not at the place that he was at. Mm-hmm. And I can honestly say that I like, hanging out with my friends, and I like being with my family.
Yeah.
Paul was like, bump all of this.
Yeah.
I mean, he was literally at the place where Jesus was like, when the disciples like, your mother and your brothers are calling, he's like, these are my mothers and these are my brothers. Like,
this is my family, because they are fellow believers.
They're believing
what I'm saying.
Yeah. And I'm leading them to,
yes, because
once they accept me, we're all in one family.
Yes.
And so I think that when you get to that place, it's a totally difference. And I would like to get to that place. Mm-hmm. I can't say that I'm there yet.
That's it's real. That's why I'm like, because that's serious. Mm-hmm. That really is serious. And you're right, because when you read it, it's like, it's almost counterintuitive. Like, it is the opposite of what you would think you naturally want. Because he literally was like, what is it better for me to be here with you guys? Or I know what I want.
Yes.
But obviously right now it's better for me to be here with you. And
and I love y'all.
I love y'all. I really do. And I'm clearly here for a reason to continue to sow into your lives.
Yes.
But I think that's also walking in what the Lord has you to do.
Yes.
And he was like, I'm here as just the vessel for your purposes. Like, for the Lord's purposes. Mm-hmm. And I think a lot of times we still just want to do what we want to do. Yeah. Like, I want to just have so many dreams. I have so many aspirations. And that doesn't mean it's wrong. Like, the Lord will give you dreams. The Lord will give you passions. So I don't think that that's wrong. But I think that sometimes a lot of times what we want outweighs us being in submission to what God wants. Mm-hmm. And so he was at that place where he's like, I'm fully submitted. The only reason I'm still here is because I'm submitted. Because I'm going to say, I'll do what else you need me to do. And when his time came, he wrote his little farewell letter, went on to glory. So you're 100% correct. That is I think a good desire to have.
Yes.
To be at that.
And I think if you keep that focus, that mindset, I think you shift away from, if I have this amount of money in the bank account, and if I have this type of house, and if I have this type of thing, or if I have this.
Because I think you see the true importance of what actually matters.
Yes.
Because really, he was the prime example of abasing and abounding, because he was wealthy, not wealthy. He's living in people's homes. He's got a little rental property. You know what I mean? Like, he was living everywhere. So when you think of it from that perspective, it's like his life was varied. Yeah. So obviously, but a lot of times we are like, okay, I want these specific comforts. I want my life to look like this. I don't want it to be changed. Once I've made it that way, I'm successful and I'm walking in purpose. And I think sometimes when you see people who maybe aren't that way, the general thought process is, again, because the way you're conditioned is to say that's what success looks like. Mm-hmm. That's what walking in your purpose looks like. Then it's like, well, that person is not rich and they are ministering to everybody. They're giving food out to those in need. They're doing all these different things, but they're not wealthy. They are having to get, assistance from they're getting grants, they're all these different things. And it's like, that doesn't mean they're not walking in their purpose. That doesn't mean that the Lord is not using them. That doesn't mean that they're not doing what they're called to do, but it doesn't look necessarily successful by general definition of success.
Society's standards of success.
Yes. So like I said, I think that's what you said about your desire to be able to get to the point where you're like, my life is just for the glory of God, and like, that's it. And to be at a place where you're saying, I know heaven is so much better than here. I'm ready to go on. Like I think that's a good place to be in, to have that to be your desire. I know, Troy, you had a question. You want to save that to the next episode? Okay. I mean, I guess we talked in excess. Okay. I was trying to keep it light. I know Troy had another topic, but we'll save that for next time. Thank y'all for watching, and we will see you you'll hear us in the next one.
All right. Bye.